the last 2 days has seen a lot of news coming out from the Sony and PlayStation camp. We have a release date finally for Detroit Become Human, one of the best months ever for PlayStation Plus. Horizon Zero Dawn getting a sales update, and man, Sony doubling down on first-party games. So you know what? Let's talk about all this stuff right now. What is going on, guys? Randall Thor 19, the man with the million, back again with another video. If you missed my last couple of videos, make sure you check out my Rand's Indie Spotlight of not only Darkest Dungeon on the Xbox, but also Deep Rock Galactic. 2 pretty cool games. Check it out when you got the time. Man, a lot of PlayStation news to discuss and digest, and we're going to start off with the one that happened today. PlayStation 4 exclusive Detroit Become Human has finally gotten a release date, and it's coming sooner than a lot of people expect. Although, I don't want to brag a little bit, but if you listen to my PlayStation prediction video I posted at the beginning of February, I actually nailed this game and the release date 100%. Go back and check out that video. Scroll to about 4 minutes and 12 seconds, and I'll wait here. Are you back? Yeah. So in my prediction video, I said it would come out May 25th. It would be the next game after God of War. What do you know? Sony announced it today that it is coming out on May 25th. Maybe you guys should listen to the rest of the predictions in that video. If you're a fan of Days Gone, I did predict it wouldn't be coming out this year, so that one's for you, Jay. Anyways, if you're interested in knowing about Detroit Become Human, it's the latest narrative adventure game from Quantic Dream, the makers of Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls. But this time the story revolves around the evolution of AI robots and their integration into society as a whole. The title has seen kind of a rocky last couple months. It's had a controversy or two. A little bit late last year, they came under scrutiny for a really intense and eye-opening scene, which involved a little girl and a father and some sort of depicted domestic abuse. People were upset and outraged at that, so that kind of started the whole, should this game even come out? And then, of course, last month, Quantic Dream was hit with allegations of unhealthy studio culture and workplace harassment. And David Cage had to come out and basically say that it was all a smear. So there's a lot of controversy surrounding this game in particular. And it finally comes out on May 25th. I am really excited to check it out. I have never played a Quantic Dream game before. I actually have Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls on my PlayStation 4, and I'm going to play those games after I finish off God of War, which I'm almost done with. I just bought Uncharted Legacy and Gravity Rush 2 that are on sale, but I figured it's time to go through Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls in preparation for Detroit Become Human on May 25th. So that was the news from today. Yesterday, they had a couple announcements, namely maybe the greatest month for PlayStation Plus ever. Definitely probably better than any month for Xbox Live Gold. PlayStation announced that for the month of March, you will be receiving Bloodborne and Ratchet and Clank. And man, the whole kind of narrative surrounding PlayStation Plus and Games with Gold recently has been put to rest. PlayStation Plus has really offered a lot more quality games than Xbox Games with Gold. It seems like Games with Gold is more focused, or Xbox at least is more focused on the Game Pass stuff now. But hey, Sony's offering value for their subscription with 2 of the better games on the service. Bloodborne is like a 90 Metacritic something. It's from the makers of From Software. It's basically Dark Souls-ish. I haven't played it. I do have it, but haven't played it yet. And Ratchet and Clank is supposed to be a pretty good game as well. I love the Ratchet and Clank series. It's been a long time since I played one. I do own this one. Like, my backlog is pretty crazy if you guys haven't figured it out. From the 1,000 games I own on Xbox platform to about the 30 or so games I own on PlayStation. My backlog is pretty damn crazy, and there's not a lot of time to play everything I want, but I'm going to try to get through at least Ratchet and Clank. Now, with the good news about PlayStation Plus games, Bloodborne and Ratchet and Clank coming to the service, Sony did kind of throw in a little bit of bad news, and it's actually kind of a good way to dole out the bad news. You get people excited on Twitter and elsewhere about this great month that PlayStation Plus is having, Bloodborne and Ratchet and Clank, and then you slide in the little information that starting next year, they will no longer be including PS3 games and PS Vita games into the service. And Polygon actually got a update from Sony and got them to basically say that a representative for Sony told Polygon that after February 2019, the monthly PlayStation Plus lineup will consist only of 2 free PS4 games. Pretty smart way of dishing out some great news and then, of course, combining it with the bad news, because the talking point now for a lot of people is how great this month is going to be for PlayStation Plus. Not, and some people are talking about it, but most people are kind of glossing over the fact that they are removing PlayStation 3 games and Vita games from the service a year from now. So I guess if you're a fan of PlayStation 3 and Vita games, I guess that's going to suck for you. My personal take on all this stuff is I kind of view the increasing value of what they're doing with PlayStation Plus as sort of a shot at Microsoft's games with gold, or the Game Pass stuff. I don't know, ever since like Microsoft announced the Game Pass stuff and how the first party games are going in there, Sony's PSN Plus has really offered a lot of value, like Deus Ex Mankind and Metal Gear Solid 5 and now Bloodborne and Ratchet and Clank. To be fair, a lot of these games are older. You don't really see a lot of newer games that often, at least newer AAA games don't go into games with gold or PSN Plus. Bloodborne is a game that I believe came out in 2015, and Ratchet and Clank is a game I believe that came out in 2016. So we are talking basically about a 3-year-old game and a 2-year-old game, but that's how these kind of subscription services work. They don't want to give you something new. I mean, yeah, sometimes you get a Rocket League and stuff, but other times maybe not so much. But anyways, great month for PlayStation Plus. I know a lot of people are looking forward to it. And interesting way for Sony to introduce some bad news on it. Now, Horizon Zero Dawn. It's been a focal point for the console war. I played it for a couple hours. Great looking game. I'm burnt down on open world games, as a lot of you guys know. I will go back to that at some point and finish that off because it does seem pretty interesting. Sony, they originally announced like a little bit after the game launched that they sold around 3 million copies, and people were saying, Horizon Zero Dawn only sold 3 million copies on such and such user base of 70 million. They always point out the attach ratio. But yesterday, in celebration of the 1-year anniversary of Horizon Zero Dawn, which came out last year at this point in time, they announced that Horizon Zero Dawn surpassed 7.6 million sales worldwide, and that is now the best-selling new first-party franchise on the PlayStation 4. And of course, this is a kind of a hot topic for the console war. People want to downplay the success of any PlayStation game. A lot of the Xbox fanatics want to downplay any success that PlayStation sees, and of course, the opposite holds true. A lot of PlayStation fanatics want to downplay any success that Xbox has. In regard of Horizon Zero Dawn, of course, people still say, well, it should have sold more. 7.6 million out of 76 million copy systems, it's basically 10%. It should have sold more, but those people don't realize that software doesn't scale linearly with hardware. It never has, and it never will. But in my opinion, that is absolutely amazing for a studio who made basically first-person shooters, the Killzone franchise, to switch gears, spend 4 to 5 years working on a open-world action RPG, and not only have it come out, be a critical hit, not only with gamers, but with critics alike, but then go on to be Sony's best-selling new first-party franchise on the PlayStation, selling close to 8 million copies in 1 year. That is pretty damn good for a new IP on a single platform. That's incredible. Congratulations to Guerrilla and Sony for knocking out of the park, and I'm sure a lot of people will be greatly anticipating Horizon Zero Dawn 2 on the PlayStation 5, probably in a couple years whenever that comes out. Now, as you can tell, a couple of these topics were mainly about PlayStation exclusives. Horizon Zero Dawn selling close to 8 million copies. Bloodborne and Ratchet and Clank being on PlayStation Plus for March. Detroit Become Human finally getting a release date, coming out in basically 2.5 months. And Sony also announced today that they were having an organizational transformation. And the big quote here, at least the big takeaway, is that they are doubling down on PlayStation exclusives. In fact, here in the release, it says that increasingly, the value of interactive entertainment is differentiated by the broad spectrum and depth of experiences that it provides to customers. As such, SIE's mission to create and develop the most attractive and powerful first-party titles has become more important than ever. To fulfill this purpose, also effective April 1st, Sean Layden, current chairman of Worldwide Studios and SIEA president, will concentrate his focus on Worldwide Studios continuing to provide platform-defining content that helps drive the growth of SIE. So there you go. If you're worried about Sony maybe throttling down on the exclusive department for the release of next gen, that's the exact opposite they're doing. They are, seems like, heavily invested in the first party content. They've seen, I mean, clearly they're doing something right with the PlayStation 4. It's almost close to 80 million consoles, probably over 100 million at some point. And Sony believes that their system's differentiated from the others by the fact that they have, and I'm quoting because it's in here, the most attractive and powerful first-party titles in gaming. They see that as, the competitive advantage they have over Microsoft and Sony, or Microsoft and Nintendo, rather, and they're going to continue on with that. So if you're a fan of Sony studios and more exclusive games from said studios like Naughty Dog, Guerrilla, Sucker Punch, and all that stuff, then you got nothing to worry about. Sony's out there committing to making more great, attractive, and powerful first-party titles. So that is the roundup for the PlayStation news the last couple days. A lot of stuff going on. Let me know what you guys think. What was the most important announcement for you out of all of these? Are you excited about the PlayStation Plus games coming? Bloodborne and Ratchet and Clank in March. You excited for that? You excited to play Detroit Become Human in May? You happy for Horizon Zero Dawn reaching 7.6 million copies sold? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, share this out on social media, hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, all that good stuff. And I'll see everybody in my next video. Later, guys.